I say, yo, what up? How's it going, man?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm well. I'm swell. Tetsutetsu.
Yes.
We did Tetsutetsu last week, right? No, is that not true?
No.
Like last
no.
month? No. What did we
It
do?
was not I. No. We did. Did we do muscular? No, we didn't do muscular last week. What? I think it was muscular.
Okay.
No, I
I
don't
helped
know.
somebody with a void Tetsutetsu kick list last, so I thought this is just like revamping on that again. So hit me with the pitch. I'm so sorry. Hit me with the pitch. What's going
So
on with Tetsutetsu?
I originally played this set 3. Locals is just kind of fun because I love the Tetsutetsu character, and I wind up getting a lot of kills. Unfortunately, doing UVS on my phone, I accidentally deleted the list. I remember most of the attack lineup, but I figured now would be a good time to try to see if it works for set 4. I just couldn't remember the foundations I was running, so I just kind of threw things in that felt good for Void. Now I just kind of need help sorting it out because if you look at the block zones, I think over half of all those good foundations are mids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. TTS or UVS Ultra's being ultra cringe, and it's not letting me do the things that I want to do. Please set current deck. Void go. Okay, let's hope that works. Okay, so let's jump into it. So you're just looking for me to cut, or what's the thought here?
So I'm looking to cut. So typically I run anywhere between like maybe 12 to 14 foundations. It's not a hard number.
12
I
to
just need to
14
get it
total?
down to.
Wait, what?
No, not 14 total. 14 like different types of foundations.
Oh, okay,
I'm just trying to get I'm just trying to get it cut down as far as, because like I said, a lot of them are really good, but a lot of them are mid blocks. So it's just trying to get it cut down, probably around 60, 65-ish even.
Okay, makes sense.
The way that I run this deck is just a blow up with USJ, just blow up for a big move. One of my favorite lines is the reciprocal extend, heading into that second move with USJ, and then if I run a high engine kick, discard attack out my hand, get the +4 speed, discard the attack on face with Tetsutetsu, and it makes it +8/+8 to whatever I'm running. So
that's pretty okay.
And then the other one is the engine rush. I like to play that as a second attack, so it comes in. If I wind up reciprocal extending it, great. If not, it comes in as a 7/7, and then I can just end the enhanced step and tell you to catch. So
yeah, 7/7 flash moves are pretty good.
Yeah.
So okay. Just doing a little dig in, just to make sure that we're not leaving anything on the table,
Yep.
So many cards now.
Yes. I find myself now it takes an hour to sit down and do a quick, no more 5-minute deck builds anymore.
Yeah, it's all over. It's all over for us. Our lives are too hard now.
As I have like 20 decks still in here.
Right. Hey, I get it. It's probably what I'm gonna do after we get done with deck dogs. Truthfully. Man, I see a lot of cards that like are classically played, and you're playing like replacements for them. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, like I said, some of it, like the numbers is just kind of some things. Like I remember I did play 4 smaller limbers in there, but some of them are just like a one of. It was just adding it because it was set 4, so I felt like it would be good. So like, don't necessarily pay attention to the amounts of them in there. That was just a quick, let me add this and figure out what I'm going with from there.
Okay, so let me force you to defend your choices so far. What's up with Jetstream Crash? What's this card doing in here?
So Jetstream, it's for that, like I said, some people that I've come across when I play my locals, usually on that second with USJ, that second attack, they always want to try to block because it's coming in with the extra. So sometimes I will play a third attack in the string. Because I said I have Tetsutetsu, I can take one unblocked on face and it'd be okay the next turn. Um, and it's just a big damage pump. And if they try to stop it with speed or couldn't get it, or I play an off zone attack, that third attack, usually it goes through. And it's this +7, usually between that Jetstream Crash and Tetsutetsu's in hands.
Sure. This thing has to be blocked, or else like you're just gonna take 9, right?
Yep. Or if you decide not to block it, then the next one gets +2 speed, and it could be whatever kick that already comes in as a base 4. Or if I have, fusion up, I add +2 to it. There's foundations that it'll just, get out of hand real quick. It can be +4 to +6 speed in an instant, and always the threat of Tetsutetsu, the discard, to add +4 damage on top of everything else too.
That is cool. Let's toss in a couple options for us. So.
Yep.
The 2 big attacks that I saw, that I guess there's a third attack, and I just didn't include it. Let me just go grab it real fast. Hold on. Okay, so your classic Void kick lineup has some amount of reciprocal acceleration kicks in the deck. Inside of your deck, it's probably better than Recipro Burst, truthfully. Because the thing about Recipro Burst is you have to have momentum in order to make it fast. And normally you have to have momentum to make it hit hard. Well, you take care of the hitting hard part, so now I have to have momentum to make it fast.
Yep.
This card almost never hits hard, but is always fast because you just clear the cards out of your card pool. Well,
right.
You make it hit hard, and it's always fast. This card, strictly speaking, is just better than this card in your deck. It just always will be. The issue is this card, let's look at play patterns. I play a poke, I pass, I get my 2 momentum. On my next turn, I draw Recipro Burst and 4 foundations. I have an aggressive turn. If I draw Recipro Acceleration Kick and 4 foundations, I do not. I build 2 pass.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But as soon as I have those 2 attacks, or I'm able to toss these rebound sidekicks that I poked with back into my card pool with their own ability, and then discard with Tetsutetsu. Now we're off to the races. I'm gonna dome you for 14, maybe. Right?
Right. Yeah. Because that's how I play it. I throw big bombs. So and that's why I'm thinking about it normally in the Void kick lineup. I was just like, okay, it doesn't hit hard. So yeah, that didn't even cross my mind.
This card, you absolutely slammed them with this card, because this is normally at minimum a 6 low for 10 in you, which is like very strong. It's very, very strong. It is probably better than both of these cards. I don't know how many of this that you have. It's probably just better than these.
I can run 4 of them. I have I think like 6 or 8 of them. So
lucky duck. Look at you. Wish I had 6 reciprocal acceleration. Okay, the next one is Hardened Frenzy Engine Rush. I want to just swap these exclusively because this is a 4 diff, and they're the same block zone. The other option that we have is Binding Kick as a low block. This card says, if hit, draw a card. And so, it keeps your hand full so that you're allowed to pay this cost. Right. Whereas this card does keep your hand full, but at a commit a foundation cost, and as your 5-hander is a little tough to build out enough to make this worth it, right? And even Recipro Extend, draw my card, play Binding Kick with USJ out. So this is an 8 high for 8 that draws me an extra card. I played these 2 cantrips. I end with 2 attacks. This one, Binding Kick, definitely dealt damage. There's no way it didn't. It was an 8 high for 8. Possibly an 8 high for 12. And you get to have 5 cards in your hand to now figure out what your turn looks like. Oh, do I play the Recipro Acceleration Kick as the 3rd move now? And I still have a bunch of cards in my hand. Is that better than Frenzy, which is just if blocked build down? I truthfully, I don't know. I think that the number one thing that I would do is take this down to a 3 of, and then put this at the 4 of, and then test this card because you put it in your list. If this card is not getting you anywhere, just try this card and see what happens, and see if that
Okay.
if the play pattern changes.
Yeah.
Like, am I losing too many cards out of my hand? What is happening? What is happening there? You know?
Yeah. I try to keep it at maybe a couple of momentum for attacks, because like I said, it's not like I'm generating a ton.
Yeah.
But I do want it to be meaningful when I do have those 3 or 4. So typically I can when I played this deck with set 3, I would at any point in time would reliably have 2 to 3 momentum to kind of play with.
Sure.
So
I mean, at that point, like if you really want to, you could take this and play this. I mean, the number that I really like, honestly, is 3 Recipro and then 1 Burst. This is normally the number that I like because I have access to both play patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the spread that I really enjoy, or like 2 and 2, or you currently don't have any other high blocks. You could like figure out, do I actually need Engine Rush? Do I need 7 low blocks here in these 2, or can I like, let's cut Engine Rush down to a 2 of now? I know that it's really potent with this thing, but like, what happens when I do this? Is just a raw Recipro Burst sometimes better than Engine Rush? The answer is maybe. I don't know, right?
Right.
But like, when we look at difficulty, you're going to string really, really hard because of 4 diff, and you'll be able to string even harder because of Recipro Acceleration Kick, 4 diff, acceleration, clear my 2, 4 diff, acceleration, clear my 2, and like just keep playing cards like this, you know?
Yeah. Because like the Engine Rush is just, once again, it's just that big bomb punch you in the mouth. But I never see the Recipro as in, okay, it's not, well, I can make it big now, but then with being able to clear the card pool, make it big and extend. So yeah, I do want to try that out though. Let's keep that at a 3 of and see.
I love it. And you're cool with Engine Rush being down to a 2 of, or we can take in and put this back to 3, put this to 1. That's totally your choice.
Let's do Engine Rush 3 and Recipro Burst 1.
Okay.
Because the time I've played Recipro Burst, when it was a game changer, it was just, I seen it once.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't necessarily an engine to make this deck go. So,
right.
I didn't have any problem slapping it down as a block or things like that. So it wasn't necessary to that. So.
Yeah, I love Engine Rush, even as just like a 1 of in a lot of my decks, because just like 5 mid for 5 flash move that just like a catch is just good, right? Especially when you pair that up with USJ. It's a 7 mid for 7 catch. I don't even care about the enhance, but like what happens when you actually draw all 3 of these in the same hand? That feels bad.
Yeah, it does. Because I've done it twice when I've had a couple. Yeah, I've had 2 in hand and it felt kind of bad because I was just like, okay, my bomb's over, and I just kind of.
Yeah. Let's talk about your actions. What's up with these guys?
Living up to his example was just something for draw power in addition to, because I wasn't playing Recipro Acceleration Kick. So I figured that if I could have a low block with Breaker 1, and since it was 6 or less to draw a card, it was kind of similar to kind of building the hand back up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the idea behind that one. And since I wasn't a huge momentum builder, if I could just take something from my hand to get through what I wanted to get through, either to make it big or make it fast, I could.
Makes sense. What about this one?
I think I had engine trouble in there again just because it was a Breaker 1 block.
Sure.
It's not necessary for anything. It's just one of those looking for low blocks, and that just seemed to be a good one in the deck.
Can I convince you just to make this 2 erases and just call it a day?
Oh yeah, because it does the same thing, doesn't it?
It does the same thing. They're mid blocks. Yeah. This card is the definition of fine, right? But like, you have 1, 2, 3 cards technically that you can even use its ability on. If you draw as your 5-hander, if you draw a hand that doesn't have these keywords on it, it's just as your first enhance. You have to check a 4 to remove to draw a card. It's just not good enough. in my opinion, especially in your 5-hander, right? It just it's just not good enough. Yeah, I think that this card is not very good. I think the only deck that really wants to run this card, truthfully, is like some sort of combination punch deck that's like, I want to build this foundation right now. Okay, living up to his example, here it is, right? Like,
right. Yeah, no, like I said, I'm always willing to.
I'm in. Let's get rid of it.
Down to try it.
And now
it's
we get
not
to do
something I was committed to, so.
Now we get to do the coolest move in the game, and it is surprise game 2. I'm Eraserhead. Because now you can just like sideboard 2 erases and 1 Eraserhead and be like, yo, you thought that my deck was good before. Now all of these have +2 speed, and I get to murder you. Hey, you 7-hand size character, I don't care about damage anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Incredible. Foundations. So I'm gonna go through a couple of foundations here, and I need you to defend them for me. Number 1, Helping Tamura.
That was one that was cool. I said to add momentum, but we can drop that. I was just going through to add what new void just to see what set 4 had, but yeah, that can go. There's no defense on that one.
Revealed.
If you try to block the attack with the foundation, you check the block. I guess that was just to make it harder once I had that speed come through. Just once again, I said to build up on it. Go ahead.
That's okay. Adorable Telepath.
Yep. It's just one of those that since I was a 5-hander, it was kind of a way to cheat my hand size to kind of pull it back and forth between my stage and my hand.
Okay. Going out to fight some villains.
Yeah, I don't know why that's in there. You can toss that.
Fair. Aiming for number 1.
It was something that was cheeky that I felt like the card's been collecting dust in my bin there, and I just thought that it might have a way to work in here. But it was just one of those kind of be a cool one of. But if I needed to make some cuts, that would have been the thing to go.
Love it. Okay, so I'm gonna go through. Helping Tamura sucks. If it wasn't a 4-check, everybody would be playing it. The fact that it's a 4-check means if it was a 4.5 check, if we could figure out how to sometimes make it a 5, sometimes make it a 4 to make it fair, I think it would be much more tolerable. Or maybe like if the block was a little better, or like a 0-4, maybe we could talk. But like this card, just does it. Or if it had the 3 magic words, right? If it had the 3 magic words of playable while committed, we could talk because it's not good enough.
No, it's funny because I passed over it with Shiggy 2 and Evil, and
so. Mastermind Revealed is incredible in your character specifically, right? So you take the move, right? You unblock the attack, you lift the foundation to your hand, and then you Mastermind Revealed and then block with the thing and then build it down, right? And gives -3 speed. This card is a power creeped version of this card. So this card just gets to leave. This is +3 speed, -3 speed if the attack is greater than printed. This is just -3 speed because your block check gets +3.
This is +3. Yeah.
It just does that. I think
this card is a better block modifier.
I think this card's cool. I think this card is cool. Yeah, it's better block modifier. Right. Same Bakugo. No reason I plays it a 4 of. That's a big 4. Tam pronouncing Tamura like shrimp tempura hurts my soul. Sorry, alliteration. Adorable Telepath. You don't need this card. You just don't need it. There's no real. I guess like you lifting it to your hand to discard with Tetsutetsu is like neato. It's like build now for, but would you play Destroy a Ready Foundation for +4 damage? Would you play that ability? Because that's what this card is, right? I guess it's Destroy for +1 speed +4. Okay, you sold me. All right.
Yeah.
It's a hard bargain, but you got me. So Manly at a 2-of. This card's really, really interesting.
Yeah, it was just to okay, so usually when I pass, I try to pass with maybe only 2 cards in hand.
Yeah.
Just so if I need to really block something, block that second one or whatever I can tank. Because on the other side, of course, they have USJ as well too, so they may try to pump that in there, and then I just make it 1 damage because I gotta have no cards in hand or whatever it may be. But it's just to build upon once I take that. take that damage. I can flip it, stuff their card pool. So if for some reason I am playing a 7-hander or somebody who can really string, it just kind of makes it just at least a little bit harder for them.
I'm really soft on this card. I think that because of like, I guess your character gets to like the most out of it, right? Of like, got a lot of really good DR here, and you got to take an unblocked attack. Your character says the words unblocked on it. Like everything kind of lines up for your character to really want to work on this card. But man, I just want to drop it down to 1 of, because like there's maybe it's the characters that I'm playing. I hate like looking at so manly on my board and being like, I hope I never have to use you. I hope I never. I just hope I never have to do it. Tacky Fanatic, I think, is allowed to be in the sideboard. Same thing with Confused. I have to cut Confused now. It just that is a sideboard card. Learner Standard is good. Probably also could be in the sideboard, specifically if you're trying to cut mid blocks. But is incredible in your character. So let's just drop it down to a 1 of. Natural Leader is so interesting. Commit your kick to get 2 speed. Thoughts on this guy?
It's just another one of those help me win more. Like I said, just the play style of this character. I just wanted to throw big bombs, so that way if I only wind up having only 2 attacks that turn, I could at least try to make sure one of them just got big and blew up into something.
Sure. Okay. Let's I mean, aim for number 1 has to leave, right? Like.
Yeah. Like I said, it was just one of those. I really liked the card, and it was collecting dust. I was trying to see if maybe I could find a home for it, but yeah.
All right, let's just look at the stuff that you left on the table. Heroic Lineage. After a thing is damage is increased, can I do this on this? Your attack. Just kidding. Yeah, you could Heroic Lineage and slam -3 speed on pretty much every move. Force Quirk activation. This card says destroy a foundation for +3 or +2 speed to these kicks, which is incredible. Or you can take and put this inside your momentum, and then now your thing either has +2 or -2 damage as well. Pretty good.
Yep.
Sense of Justice. Enhance commit -X speed or X damage, and so you could like once per turn and then slam this thing for -1, -2, and then it hits you for nothing. I think it is probably better than what Resistance has got going for us. Resistance is very good on the stun hate though, so you'll have to weigh that. Citywide Crisis.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put this in your deck. Here you go. We're just gonna put that in 1 of. There's no reason not to play this card. Enhance remove, return this attack to its printed speed, playable while committed. Is a not fair ability. It's just not fair. It is the definition of power creep. This ability, this card could not have this response on it, and this enhance remove is just good enough to like warrant people playing it at a 1 of. This will be all over the place.
Yeah, this set as a whole, it's plus ultra packs. I'm playing in every potential local or anything I could, because out of the 12 cards, like 9 or 10 of them were playable in most decks.
Yeah, you gotta. Design Conflict. Yes, you've got a bunch of health, but sometimes this is just good enough to save you, right? And then lastly, if you got a lot of mids, why not just make all their moves mid? Just block with the thing that you the thing that you have the most of in your deck, which is just mid blocks, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Those are the big things that I saw left on the table. I'm sure there's like some slightly more things that we can get into, but like trying to get this number down, like we easily could like a Master's Pride. I'm not positive that we actually need this card in our deck, because like the only thing that triggers it on our turn is just like Rebound Sidekick, or it lets you re-ready cards whenever you go in really hard. Easily, like this card could just be like 4 copies of Sense of Justice, and then you might just never die.
Yeah, it was mainly in there. I know there was no real deck synergy. It was just in there because it was 0 diff.
Yeah, I think with saving Bakugo and Easily Excited, and we're not even playing Gotcha, right? Like we could just be playing Gotcha in its place. I just don't think we need it, and I think Tetsutetsu with Sense of Justice is like so lame. Crushing Truth doesn't need to exist in the deck. This is a sideboard card for sure. It could be literally anything else. I mean, the easiest thing to put in would be something along the lines of like dissolving the conflict or heroic lineage. Like this could be a 2 of and feel great. This could be a 2 of and feel great. And then we're still sitting pretty here. Like this is not a bad number. Learning the standards could leave. Teaki Fanatic could leave. Resistance could leave. And these are all mid blocks that we got going on. Like all of these. And that's like another 5 gone, and then your block zones are like pretty even, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thoughts?
I'm liking it so far. I'm just looking to keep track of everything else that I see that I have going on here. The only one that I'm like waffling on is the resistance, just of course because of the stun hate, but I don't know. I hardly see it now, honestly.
It's
Everybody just wants to flip your stuff now.
We've got Small Limber that is also like pseudo this job, right? Of like, these get stunned, and then you take your move, and then you just lift them, right? Or lift a thing, ready these things back. And so like,
and that's what the Adorable Telepath was for, to get the engine for Small and Limber constantly going.
Yeah, I think we cut the resistance, we cut the Teaki, we cut the learning the standards, and we just run it as is with 66 cards, I think. And then you're allowed to make changes from there, right? Because obviously it's your deck. Obviously keep these cards in some sort of on the table sideboard. Go to local with a 35 card sideboard. Nobody's going to yell at you because you're just trying to figure out how to make your deck work. If they do, they can come to me and I'll yell at them. And like this is just the list, man. This is just the thing that you should do. If you feel like you are not building enough, the first thing that I want you to do is take out these erases, because they don't actually help this game plan at all. What they are here for is there are some matches that I'm sure that you have found that Tetsutetsu literally just can't handle it. He just can't do it. Yes. Sideboard into Eraserhead, and he should help cover that other half of that matchup. Other side of the idea of what's going on there. +2 speed on everything is like insane, especially whenever you've got USJ, right? Like imagine you go Reciproc Extend into High Engine Kick. The High Engine Kick is just unblockable. It just can't happen. Or USJ into Recipro Burst. Extend into Burst with Eraserhead with 1 momentum. You don't have to EX anymore, right?
Yeah.
It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It gets just +6 damage for 1 momentum, +6/+6. Boop. Yeah, or +6/+8 because of the USJ.
Yeah.
Sorry, +6 +10 because of
10.
extend. So this is a 15 damage move off of 2 cards and 1 momentum. Okay, yeah, seems good. Seems all right. Yeah. All right, dude. Any follow-ups? Any questions for me? Because I think you got a list, man.
No, I think that's good. I'm glad that we figured that other side, because like I said, Tetsutetsu was great if I'm like running a local or just a 3-round no top cut. But I felt like he could compete in a long tournament, but I'm just like, if I have a bad matchup, it's gonna be a rough day.
100%.
So I definitely like that I have a sideboard option now that I can feel a lot more confident mainboarding him. Into like a provisional or a regional. So
I love it. All right, man. Well, stay on the line long enough for me to shoot you the list, and you have a gross your net, okay?
Yep, you do the same. Thanks.
All right, thanks, buddy.